Okay, welcome. Part 2, DadCode, creating a market stack MCP. My daughter's awake. She's wandering around. She's a year old, so this might not last long. Let's just get started. I need to create a HTTP helper function, so let's start there. Async def stack. Almost not fetching stack. It's market stack. Request URL. Wait, let me see. This is asyncs with HTTP client as client. Parameters. Oh, it's so close. But we're doing get. Oh, get endpoint. Async as client. Wait, parameters. String dick. Yep. Okay, that looks good. Helper function to make get request. Yeah. We got this access key. Yeah. Async. Let's do a timeout equals 15. Okay, as client, response, wait. Market stack base URL endpoint. Yep, that's right. Oh, we did that already. Oops. Yeah. URL. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, that's awesome. Response rate, data response. Okay, yeah, let's check for errors now, though. So if error in data code. Message equals data error, get message, no message. Raise runtime. It's a raise runtime. Market stack API code message. Yeah, exactly. Return data is here. Yeah, there you go. Cool. That was really fun. I don't like writing, so that's cool. Private helper function, basically to underscore our prefix here. Yeah, so async def, what is that? Basically, it contains a wait call. If we use just like a regular def, right, so without the async, Python would error when it hit a wait. So the type hints endpoint, right? Okay, so that's why we have that. Params access key right here. Basically, we set that to the market stack API key. So market stack authenticates via query parameter called access key, right? So we inject our API key into the params dict here in the helper once. So every tool that calls this function gets authenticated automatically. This is basically the principle we have for don't repeat yourself, handle it once centrally, right? So cool. Async with the HTTP x.async client timeout as client, right? So this basically creates the HTTP client when we enter and close the connection. So whether we succeed or hit an exception, we don't have any resource leakage timeout's 15 because if market stack doesn't respond in 15 seconds, we raise a timeout exception instead of hanging forever. Always get timeouts on network calls. So we have a waits client that was created very nicely for us, which is awesome. This is built into the URL, which I like what they did. I didn't even do that. I was going to do an F string just in here, but why not make a variable? Yeah, so if the endpoint is EOD, basically, the URL will begin with http://api.marketstack.com/v1/EOD. So the params for this dictionary becomes the query string. The await we have suspends the response, and that arrives without blocking anything else. So await client.get. Yeah, so then we basically come to our if error, right? So the if error, this is something you learn from working with like real APIs. Some APIs return HTTP 200 even when something went wrong. The error is buried in a response body, so MarketStack does this. So checking the status code alone isn't enough. We check the parsed JSON for an error key, right? So if there isn't, we extract the code and message and raise a runtime error. So without this check, basically a failed API call would silently return empty or some sort of data we don't understand. And our tool would basically pass that garbage into our AI model, which we don't want. Cool. Yeah. Then we have return data, essentially. So if we made it here, no HTTP error, no API level error, we returned a full JSON dictionary, and the caller has got clean data. Okay, let's start building some tools. This is where we create our decorator, mcp.tool, async def. We're going to call this not stock microprocess, but get quote. Symbol string dictionary, yeah. Get the latest quote from the symbol, yeah. This doesn't look right. So we need data equals, oh wait, marketstack get, that's almost right too, I think. But we need, I think it's intra day / latest. And then I think we want to upper this because, oops, we'll check for, and then if not data, dot get data. Return, almost. See JSON dump. Here we go. Symbol doc position. I don't think you need all that. I think you're. I think you're just good with that, right? That is better. Okay, so quote equals data 0. Get the first quote in the response. Oh yeah. Oh cool. That did it for me. Symbol quote. Get symbol. This is open. Open quote get open. High, low. Yeah, we need that. We need volume. I don't need timestamp. I need last. Oh, I don't even think it's last updated. I just need last. I think I don't actually know. Date. It's date, not timestamp, and then exchange. Okay. And then we return the JSON dumps. Wow, yeah. So our MCP tool is the decorator. Basically, that registers this as a function for our server. And basically, when Python loads this file, it hits the decorator. It calls the MCP tool, which reads the function's name. So that's why we have that here. Get used to decorators if you're not. What does this do? So we read this doc string and it generates a JSON schema, right? So this is what the MCP protocol needs to expose the tool to our clients. No manual schema writing. No manual specifying that the symbol is a string. Fast MCP will just read this symbol string from the function signature. Sorry if I sound nasally. My whole family has been sick. I probably should have waited to do this. Yeah, that's good stuff right there. Async def. Where are we? There we are. It's very similar to what we already did. This symbol string here, though, however, what is this doing? That's basically just we're required one string parameter. We don't have a default value. It means it's required. So any client calling this tool must provide a symbol in the return type. So we need to make sure we do that when we call it. Yep. We have data await. So this line right here is it's not call the helper with the intraday or latest endpoint. Market Stack uses symbols plural, right? Even for like a single ticker. So that's their API convention. If not data, right? So this part right here. Oh yeah, this is why we did upper as well. So case sensitive. So like Apple is AAPL. They can be lowercase or uppercase, and we pass both. This is a defensive check that we like to do. So market stack wraps their results in a key called data inside the response. If the array is missing or empty, right? It's an invalid symbol, market close, data gap, something like that. We catch it here. So we return the JSON error. Then we have our quote data. Basically, the response is a list and newest first, index 0, and the most recent quote. So we build a clean result dictionary and only the 9 fields we care about that we created here. The raw API response has extra like metadata, the details and fields we don't need. So we filter it down. Every one of these has a get call. It returns none if the symbol is missing. So yeah, and then at the end we have a return JSON dump. So we want to serialize to a JSON string with 2 space indentation. This makes the output readable. This is important because the string might be printed to a terminal, right? So by our test client or read by like Gemma 4 as context for a prompt. So the compact JSON is valid. Indented JSON is just more debuggable, I guess. I don't know. And that's tool 1. Yeah, pretty cool. So get a quote. Tools 2 and 3 follow the same pattern with a few important differences. We'll go through those, then the AI tools and the entry point in part 2, or part 3, I should say. So let's take a break. We'll go get some water, maybe some pseudoephedrine. We basically have this entire project scaffolded, right? So the config is done, the server structure understood, and tool 1 fully explained. Part 2 is where we finish the server, write the client, and actually run the whole thing and watch Gemma 4 analyze stock data live. So, yeah. Okay. Thanks, everybody.